What's up, Cowboys Nation? We're back with another exclusive update straight from the heart of the Star in Frisco. And let me tell y'all right now, this team is working. The front office, the coaching staff, the players, everybody is. Locked in this offseason, all chasing the same goal. Getting better every single day to bring that 6th Lombardi trophy home to Dallas. So if you love seeing this team stay aggressive, strategic, and committed to improving, make sure you smash that like button right now. It takes 2 seconds and helps us out more than you know. All right, let's dive into today's big story because things are heating up fast in the final days leading up to the NFL draft. The Dallas Cowboys are making bold moves, having serious trade talks, and even reuniting with a familiar face who just might be returning to Big D. First up, let's talk about Stephon Gilmore. Yes, the 5-time Pro Bowl, former Defensive Player of the Year cornerback who played for Dallas just last season, Gilmore was spotted at the Star on Tuesday. That's not nothing, folks. Anytime a vet like Gilmore is in the building this close to the draft, eyebrows go up. Even though reports say a deal isn't imminent, the interest is absolutely mutual. And it's coming at a time when Dallas desperately needs help at corner. Let's not forget, we're not expecting Trevon Diggs back to start the season, and Jordan Lewis is now with the Jaguars. That leaves Deron Bland as your CB1, and while he's been phenomenal, that's not enough depth for a 17-game season, plus playoffs. Stephen Jones made it clear, we're always looking to make our roster better. Our player acquisition is year-round. And Cowboys fans, you know what that means. Even if a signing doesn't happen today, this front office is laying the groundwork for a move when the timing and the price is right. But let's not stop there. Jerry Jones turned heads Tuesday with this quote. We're looking at 2 things that could happen before or after the draft. 2 pretty substantive trades. Been working on them today. Hold up, let's hit pause. 2 substantive trades, Jerry isn't. Usually one to toss that word around lightly. So what exactly could these deals be? Well, Cowboys insiders have pointed to several names floating around the trade market. And let me tell you, if any of these happen, it could shake up the entire landscape of the NFC. Let's break it down. This one has some smoke behind it. George Pickens is entering year 3, and with the Steelers making a big money move for DK Metcalf, Pickens might be the odd man out. And listen, Pickens would be a perfect WR2 alongside CeeDee Lamb. The guy had 12 catches of 30-plus yards last season, the second most since that stat started being tracked. That's the exact kind of explosive deep threat Dallas has been missing since Amari Cooper left. Add in Dak Prescott's deep ball accuracy and Lamb's elite route running, that could be a nightmare for defenses. Here's another name you've probably heard linked to Dallas, Jameson Williams. The Lions are getting tight with the cap after paying Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Penei Sewell, and that could make Williams expendable. In 2024, Williams averaged 17.3 yards per reception. Second best in the league. He's electric with the ball in his hands and would give Dallas a real burner on the outside. Yes, he's had some off-field issues, but if he can stay focused, the upside is enormous. Okay, let's switch gears for a second, because the Cowboys still don't have a clear RB1. Sure, the 2025 draft class is deep at running back, but if the right guy doesn't fall to them, would they consider a trade for Kenneth Walker III? Walker only played 11 games last year, but he forced 77 missed tackles, more than Saquon Barkley. That's wild. If Dallas can land him for a 4th or 5th rounder, that could be a sneaky good move. Now, all these trade conversations tie directly into Dallas's strategy heading into the draft. For the past 2 years, the Cowboys have drafted based on positional need. Mazi Smith in 2023, Tyler Guyton in 2024. And neither move has panned out the way they hoped. But this year, things might be different. Stephen Jones said it clearly. At the end of the day, you're trying to pick the best player on the board. That's what fans have been wanting to hear. Because reaching for a position of need just because you have a hole hasn't worked. But if you shore up those holes before the draft with smart trades or low-cost signings, you're freed up to take true best player available on Thursday night. And don't forget, this is how we ended up with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. Those weren't positions of desperate need at the time, but they were too talented to pass up. Speaking of Thursday night, let's talk about pick number 12, but offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer made it crystal clear this week, speed in this league is important. It gives you something you don't have to coach. So who are we looking at? Two names keep coming up. Tetiro McMillan from Arizona and Matthew Golden from Texas. If either of them is available at 12, don't be surprised if Dallas pulls the trigger. These guys have elite speed, polished route, trees, and could stretch defenses vertically from day one. If they're paired with Lamb and potentially a guy like George Pickens or Jameson Williams through a trade, that could turn the Cowboys' offense into one of the most dangerous in the league. Now, some fans have asked, what about a quarterback like Shedder Sanders or Jackson Dart? In short, not happening. Jerry Jones shut that down immediately, saying, "We've got a major commitment with Dak, so you weigh that. Love him or hate him, the Cowboys are fully committed to Dak Prescott in the short term. And unless things change drastically after the 2025 season, you can rule out a QB in round one." We're talking about Micah Parsons, the heart and soul of our defense, one of the most dynamic players in the NFL, and soon to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the entire league. The only question is, when? And here's where it gets interesting. We've got a little bit of a disconnect between the front office voices in Dallas, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. While Jerry says a deal is basically ready to go, Stephen's pumping the brakes a bit. So what's really going on? Let's break it all down because the future of our defense depends on it. The face of the franchise. First of all, let's make one thing clear. Micah Parsons is not going anywhere. The Cowboys are fully committed to locking him down long term. And as of right now, he is on track to become the highest paid defensive player and non-quarterback in NFL history. That's not speculation. That's a fact that even Jerry and Stephen agree on. The current record, that belongs to Jamar Chase, who just signed a deal worth $40.25 million per year. That's the mark Parsons is set to surpass. And honestly, he deserves it. Micah's been a game changer since day one. 3 seasons, 3 All-Pro nods, 17 sacks in 2023. He changes the entire structure of an offense just by being on the field. Guys like this don't grow on trees. Jerry Jones says a deal is close. Now here's where things start to heat up. Jerry Jones met with Micah personally for 5 or 6 hours to talk about the deal. According to Jerry, they discussed everything. Contract length, guaranteed money, total value. And Jerry says it's pretty much wrapped up. I know about the years, and I know about the guarantees. I know about those kinds of things, and really it's close enough to work on a number, Jerry told the media on Tuesday. I'm comfortable with it. I don't need to adjust. Let me say that again. I don't need to adjust. That's Jerry saying, look, I like the structure we've agreed on. I'm happy with the numbers we've been tossing around. Let's do this. But then, enter Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones pumps the brakes. While Jerry is leaning in and saying, a deal is close, Stephen Jones is much more cautious. His take, there's still work to do. Stephen explained that when you're talking about top-of-the-market contracts, things don't move quickly. They take time. Negotiations can stall, especially when the player's number and the team's number aren't quite matching up. Here's what Stephen said, word for word. You look around the league at most of these players who are getting these very top contracts. It does take time ultimately to get there. And believe me, if we could sign Micah to a number we wanted to sign him to, we'd do it right now. But right now, there's a difference in what we feel is the right number and what he feels like is the right number. That's a pretty honest statement. And honestly, it's not all that surprising. We've seen this kind of tension before when negotiating with elite players. It's not about if the deal gets done, it's about when and for how much. Where's the agent? Here's another wrinkle to this story. Micah's agent, David Mulugeta, wasn't even involved in that long meeting with Jerry. That's right, Jerry and Micah talked directly, without the middleman. Now, on one hand, that could be a sign of trust and openness between the owner and his star player. But on the other hand, when the actual deal needs to be finalized, you have to go through the agent. That's his job. So while it's great that Jerry and Micah have common ground on structure and vision, the real deal-making is going to happen with the agent at the table. And that's where things are clearly still a little off. Leadership matters. One thing Jerry stressed during all this contract talk was leadership. He made it clear that if Micah wants to be the highest-paid non-QB in the NFL, he needs to embrace a bigger leadership role on and off the field. Here's what Jerry said. Micah just has to be elevated in his leadership and it will be a downer when he gets his anticipated contract. It will be a downer if he does not elevate leadership. That's a powerful statement. And to be fair, Micah seems to be stepping up already. He's been attending voluntary off-season workouts, something he hasn't consistently done in past years. That's a great sign. It shows maturity, it shows commitment, and it shows that Micah knows what's at stake. So here's the big picture. Cowboys Nation, the team is meeting with veterans like Stephon Gilmore to potentially bolster thin positions. Jerry Jones has 2 trades in the works, possibly for a WR or RB. The draft strategy has shifted from need to best player available, and the emphasis from the coaching staff is clear: speed kills, and the Cowboys want more of it. This is a massive week for the franchise, and the moves Dallas makes between now and Thursday night could define the next 3 to 5 years. So now I want to hear from you, our loyal Cowboys faithful. Do you think the Cowboys should trade for a veteran like George Pickens or Jameson Williams? Should they stick with drafting a WR at number 12, or is a surprise move on the way that none of us are seeing? Let me know what you would do in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat during this crucial stretch of the offseason. We've got more exclusive coverage coming your way as the draft unfolds, so stay locked in. Thanks for watching, Cowboys Nation. Let's ride.